Hello everyone, this is your TA Tamanna. Today we will learn how to find some of the common measures of central tendencies in Excel, such as mean, median, mode, etc. Many of you might know how to do it by hand already, but it's easier to find it in Excel. Now let's look at the data we have here. I have just typed some random numbers here today, and we will find mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, range, and interquartile range for this set of numbers. But first let me fix something. You see that I have written first quartile here, but you cannot see the whole text. So in that case, you can just put that cross at the right hand side of the column and double click, and it will adjust the column size to the text. Okay, now let's find out the mean. Now to get mean, select this cell and select the equal sign, write average. You have to remember that if you write mean, it's not going to work in Excel. To get the mean, you have to write average. And parentheses, select your data, close parentheses, enter. So you see the average of this set of numbers is 37.86. And to get the mean, select the equal sign, type median, parentheses, select your data, close parentheses, and enter. See that the median number is 25 in this data set. To get mode, similarly, type equal sign, write MODE, mode, parentheses, select your data, close parentheses, and enter. The mode is 25 for this data set because 25 is the only number that appeared twice in a data set, because mode gives you the value that occurs most often. So now let's get the standard deviation. For standard deviation, there are two commands in Excel. You have to write equal sign stdev, and you see that there is two. There's one stdev.p. This gives you the standard deviation for population, and stdev.s. This gives you the standard deviation for the sample. So let's get the standard deviation for population first. You select that, select your data, close parenthesis, enter. And then std, you select stdev.s, parentheses, select your data, close parenthesis, enter. So there you have your standard deviation for population and sample. Now variance. The procedure to get variance is kind of similar to the one for standard deviation. You type in equal sign, type var, and you see that we have var.p and var.s for population and sample respectively. So first let's select var.p, select your data, close parenthesis, and enter. And then type equal sign, type var, select var.s, parenthesis appears automatically. You select your data, close parenthesis, enter. So there we have our variances for population and sample. Now let's get to the range. A range is the difference between the maximum number and the minimum number in a set of numbers. It gives you the spread of your data. So to get range, you first need to figure out your maximum number and minimum number. How do we do that? If you have a smaller data set like this one, you can just look at it and figure out that 95 is the maximum number and 7 is the minimum number. But for a bigger data set, you can use a formula, which is you type in equal sign, write max, parenthesis, select your data, close parenthesis, and enter. It shows that a 95 is the biggest number in this dataset, as we know already. And to get min, type in equal sign, write min, parenthesis, select data, close parenthesis, and enter. As you know already, 7 is the minimum number in this dataset. So how do you get the range? There is no particular code or command to get range. It's just simple algebra. You type equal sign, select your maximum, minus, select your minimum number, and enter. There you go. The range of this dataset is 88. Now, how do we get the interquartile range? The interquartile range is the distance between the third quartile or the upper quartile and the first quartile or the lower quartile. To get the interquartile range, first you need to find out the first quartile and the third quartile. How do we do that? To get first quartile, you type equal sign, write quartile, parenthesis. You select your data, then comma and 1. 1 here refers to the quartile you want to find out. Since we want to find out first quartile, we typed 1. So enter, and you have your first quartile, which is 12.5. Now to get the third quartile is the similar formula with a little exception. You type in equal sign, write quartile, parenthesis, select your data, comma. Since we need to find out the third quartile, we're gonna type 3 and close parenthesis and enter. So the third quartile is 61. So what's our interquartile range then? It's just the same as range. You type equal sign, select your third quartile, minus, select your first quartile, and enter. So the interquartile range is 48.5. So in this lesson, we learned to find mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, range, and interquartile range in Excel. Isn't it very easy? That's all for today. Thank you.